Alright, and so here we are at the old home computer, and what I have here is Google Sketchup. It's an easy to download program, but requires that you are online, have internet connection to continue to use it. With this, you can actually, it's a very simple CAD program which will allow you to draw in 3D. And as you can see, this is the way my track layout is designed. And from this particular angle, this is pretty much the view you would get from our driver's box. Just so you know, our driver's box is simply nothing more than the top floor of my kid's swing set that has a giant deck to it where all the slides and everything connects. But it's extremely well built and can hold 4 or 5 grown men up there with no problem. And it overlooks the area of my yard that was previously being used for nothing except collecting pine needles and weeds and dandelions. We never played back there. We just mowed it to keep it down. So what better way to utilize it than to create a track for a new hobby? So this is the actual layout. As you can see with this program, you can click on it and rotate 360 degrees to get different angles. To kind of give you a layout for what we have here. This is a chain link fence that helps separate my yard from my neighbors. From this point forward is simply woods. We've built a natural berm in this area with a couple of switchbacks. This area is still debatable if I want to go for another huge chicane, possibly to put a tabletop jump here, or possibly to just go out of this chicane, go straight forward and go over a tabletop, and then over a series of whoops, then another series of switchbacks, backgrounds. We've added a large jump here, and then back down. This box here is our starting box. We can place about 6 trucks side by side for a land rush style start. One of the things you may notice is that while on here on the plan I don't have any permanent jumps, partly that is because I just don't want to build into my backyard something so permanent that if I ever do decide to sell, I'm going to have to bulldoze it to the ground, or have somebody walk over like, wow, what a great house, and what in dear God's name is that in the backyard? So we decided to go with modular wooden ramps and jumps and obstacles, and we can move them around. And change the layout as we need. I've always liked the idea of being flexible and modular. I feel that building a lot of permanent berms and jumps, while yes, you can change them. It's an absolute act of Congress and an entire weekend's worth of work to do so. I'd rather spend just 2 hours yanking up stakes, moving pipes around, and laying down new jumps. But that's my opinion. We're going to go outside and I'll show you the layout, and we're going to keep a running tab of what this track has run us. So far, with this program, we are into it for $0. Also, you can see from here, if I click and I go to Align View, this is an overhead. Note, if you will, that this is not a perfect rectangle, because my yard is not a perfect rectangle. By going out and making initial measurements of knowing how far each side is on this program, you can get a scale representation and thus be able to break it down and know that I have on the average 6-foot lanes between each one of these. Each one of these is roughly 6 foot in between. I know that a lot of 1/8 scale tracks are running 10, 12-foot lanes. I just don't have that kind of room. I could possibly make it tighter, but as fast as these trucks go, we really are just running out of real estate really quick at getting into a corner. So this is really at the beginning a very good layout for us. We'll go take a look at it in the real world.